Hi everyone, welcome to Amaranth. These are general messages for the collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus and Jupiter placements. Let's get into it. So the first card you have for today, Taurus, is the Nine of Cups, but it's in the reverse for you. Now, Cups is water energy. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio are the water elements. This is in the reverse for you. Now, 9 is almost a, end of cycle energy. Now, there's a meerkat and there's 9 cups that are floating around in the reverse. Out here, if you see, the cups are not like neatly arranged like in the other decks. So, and these cups are just floating around. So I feel that this energy of the 9 of Cups in the upright is actually known as the wish card. Where you're really happy and satisfied with what you have. Over here in the reverse, it feels like you're not easily satisfied with what you have. So I feel that, maybe, it's like, for example, when you're shopping online, and we're kind of craving for so many things. And once we order those things, we kind of even forget that we order those things. We stop waiting around for it, and when those boxes arrive, it takes for us a week or a few days at least to get to those boxes, to put them in the right places, and to try out those items that have arrived. But when we're ordering, we're so impatient. We wanted the product like right away. So it's that kind of an energy, like maybe, you wanted to go visit a place because you've seen it in pictures. I mean, you'll land there, you're like, oh my God, this is not exactly what I had expected. But you went because you were chasing pictures and fancy pictures and reviews about it. But when you went there, it wasn't according to what you had thought. And it's going to be different for each one of you. The scenario is going to be different. So 9 of Cups is not like you're not happy or you're sad or something like that, but it's just that you want to do something or you want to buy something which it will really make you happy. For example, maybe you're at a job and it's paying well and you have a good boss and good team and everything looks good on paper, but something inside of you is not happy out there. You're like, you know what? There is something else that I want to do with my time, with my life. So that's the kind of energy I'm picking up for some of you Tauruses. So just be sure, like when you go do things, like why exactly are you doing it? It's like when you go to a house and you see, oh my God, it's so beautifully decorated. I want it right away. But when you actually start living in it, you encounter so many problems and you're like, oh my God, I never thought of that. So I would say that flashy things, when we chase those, just make us feel happy for just that second that we bought it. Because when we didn't have it, we were unhappy. But when we buy it and we receive it, it doesn't change the level or the breed of our happiness. Our targets keep moving. It's like a moving target. It's like happiness becomes a moving target. It's the kind of energy that I'm picking up on. Like, oh, you wanted this and you got it. And now you're like, no, I don't think this is what I wanted. I wanted something else. So I feel that a lot of you right now might be getting honest with yourselves, or you need to get honest with yourselves as to what's keeping you unhappy. What is it that you want to pursue? What is it that you really want to do? Because sometimes things look really good on paper and sometimes, sorry about that noise. So basically, it's a time of audit to identify what really makes you happy and what you think would, or what you think if you do this is going to make you happy. It's not a bad idea to try and see that if it makes you happy, because how else are you going to know? But after you discover that it's not, I feel that the quest continues for you. So you might be in that loop of trying to identify what exactly works for you. The next card you have, Taurus, is the Lightning. And further it says power. Now when it comes to lightning, we're talking about strong and we're talking about lightning and flashes that are strong, that are those lightning bolts when they just strike down with so much power, and it happens, in the blink of an eye and in an instant. So this energy is definitely not a slow-moving energy. It's not a it's a fast-moving energy. It's a high voltage, high power movement forward. Whether it's in your personal life, whether it's in your professional life, whether it's an idea. For the most part, I feel that it's an aha moment. It's a brilliant idea. So I do feel that you're having the absolute understanding, clarity, forward momentum. For some of you, this could be beautiful ideas that are coming towards you, opportunities that are coming towards you like really fast, something that you had not expected. And I also feel that you might have to make those quick decisions and move fast on it. I mean, even though you're the earth energy and a Taurus energy, Taurus double energy is slow-paced. It's not a fast-moving energy because it's earth energy. Earth doesn't spin like footballs. So it's slow-paced energy. So I feel that with this lightning and the power energy out here, I feel that things are definitely picking up pace. Maybe there is something that has been, building for quite some time. Maybe it's like you've been putting in the work, energy, and things have not been moving as fast as you had hoped. Now things are moving fast. So whether it's that you applied for a job and didn't hear back for a long time, now you're hearing back. Or it could be that maybe it's in your personal life. Maybe it's like, you're meeting new people or, making new relationships. Maybe things were just, not moving as fast or felt stuck or lack of clarity. I feel that now things are going to, be more clear to you and you're going to be able to make certain decisions. So this is like, definitely sudden movements, and this can also be things that you had put off working on for a long time. Now you're ready. Now you're supercharged. Now you have the energy, power, time, and situation to move things forward. So it could be that stalled things that you had on your to-do list, but you could never get to it, is now moving forward. This could be on your family, friend, your professional, your personal life, your social life, or just a move that you have to make. It could be that you're moving places and you're like, no, this place is not working for me, or this neighborhood is not working for me, or something like that, and it could be different, and it's going to be different for each one of you. But I do feel that it's a sudden moving forward. You might have to decide. You might have to move fast. This is not an energy that you can sleep on it for a long, long time. But with the Taurus energy, you're not either going to be very impulsive. You're still going to think about it. You're going to still sleep on that idea or that thought for a bit, for a few hours, maybe for a day, and then you're going to have the ball rolling. So if this is about new ideas, the energy is about, energy is like write down things and, take a note of it and see what you can make do with it. So I do feel that, things are definitely, moving fast. And for you, Taurus, whenever there's this ideas, something that, that happens like this, you get an idea and you try to make things work. Yes, it moves slow, but I feel that it ends, that you end up creating something meaningful out of it. And the last card you have, Taurus, for today is a message from the angels. And the angel number associated with this is 3333. This is a very powerful number. 3 has been amplified like 4 times. So very strong, positive number. It's a fast-forward movement. Number 3 is working together, with people, with groups, with teams, with people around you. 3 is not like, 3 is a number of, working as part of a team, working. Also, it says passion and purpose, using your gifts for good, creativity, talents, abilities, expression, awakening, and health. Yeah, the lightning is the awakening part. angels are also saying the help is available to you. So it could be that you are passionate. This lightning was about passion ignited. So, if you see the crown chakra out here, it's lit up, which means ideas coming towards you. This is, an angel, angel kind of angel energy, because you see the wings are open here, orange color wings, orange and red, which is like fire, passion. Your I think you're, something is like lit up in your life, an idea. There's a fire in your belly, full throttle forward. And I feel that this is some kind of a gift that you have, some kind of a natural gift, or because you're ruled by Venus. Venus has a lot of, and the thing about Venus is it rewards hard work, right? It doesn't reward fly-by-night. So it could be that a talent, a gift that you have not discovered until yet, and it all depends on the planetary movements, right? So I feel that now is the right time for you, where you are having ideas, and it could be in regards to a talent or a gift that you have, and there's going to be forward movement in regards to that. So you could be creating things, you could be selling things, putting things out there into the world. You could be, whether it's singing, dancing, creating any kind of creating music, movies, books, any kind of products, whatever that is for you, whatever creativity means to you, whatever talent you have, it's going to be different for each one of you, whether it's surfing, whether it's creating furniture, or whether it's interior decoration. Those talents that come with the Venusian influence that were sitting dormant because the time is not right until now they are being activated within you. So it's like fly, it's the angel wings are telling you to rise, go fly. Don't hide your potential, your creativity, your talents. It's meant to be put out there into the world, And I feel that whatever this is something like really beautiful that you're going to be putting out, something that comes to you naturally, So I feel that this is definitely a green line for you to go forward. And I feel that you're fully aligned, mind, body, heart, and soul with your life's purpose, with your soul's purpose. Creating something which is meaningful, and something which is beautiful, and something which you will be able to pick up and, and do it naturally. It's like you're not going, it's like a path of least resistance, right? Some things that come naturally to us. And that's what the lightning also does. If you think about it, it comes naturally, so it's just that lightning is also a path of low resistance in the atmosphere. So I feel that that's what you're going to take, things that are easy, that come naturally, that flow naturally to you. So Taurus, those were your messages, and hope they resonated with you. Now moving on to the sign of Virgo. So the first card you have for today, Virgo, is the Eight of Swords. Now, Swords is the air suit, GEMINI, LIBRA, AQUARIUS, are the air elements. Eight of Swords, if you look at the picture, there's a horse, that is shown tied with ropes. There are swords that are loosely fixed on the ground. Now, look at the swords, like they're so thin, you can literally, with one kick, you can just drop all of them. And the rope itself is not so tight, it's like comfortably wrapped around. So it's the same energy of the Eight of Swords, like and then this horse is also blindfolded. Now, horse is originally a symbol of freedom, of fast-moving energy, of strength. Now, the horse itself feels tied up, which means that it's not a physical constraint. It's actually a mental constraint, especially because it belongs to the sword suit. So this is something that you have created a barrier for yourself just because you're thinking in your mind that it's not possible for you to achieve, or this situation is not possible, it's out of my reach, or, nah, this cannot work out because of this, that, and the third. So it's a trap that you have set out for yourself, and it's just a mental trap, which means that it's just your thoughts. So the way out of this is just to stop those thoughts, to think positive, to allow only positive thoughts, and the things that are scaring you, the things that you're fearful of, take a first step in that direction. And that'll just, help you to break free from those limitations that you have put on yourself. So I just feel that, you might be afraid of doing things, or you might just be in your head about things, whether you are, whether it's a difficult situation that you're trying to resolve, and you don't want to have the difficult conversation because you don't know how it's going to turn out. And you're just thinking, overthinking, overanalyzing, just not ready to take the first step. Even though the energy of this card says that if you were to take the first step, things are way much easier than you had ever imagined. So basically, Virgo, if you are, if this is related to your professional life, and in regards to professional life, whether it's about applying for jobs, shifting jobs, asking for raises and promotion, or upscaling, if these are the kind of things that you've been saying on or overthinking on things that are making you anxious, I feel that it's time to make the move. So if you're in a job that's not working, but you're afraid that the next job is not going to pay you as well, or it's not going to be as flat or as comfortable, then you just have to gather the strength to take the first step to move on to the next job, and it's going to be way much better for you. Now, if this is in regards to, taking on more responsibility or asking for raises and promotion, if you go speak to the management or the person that you report to, if you just mention it out, then I feel the whole process becomes easier. So it's just in your head. The fear is just in your head that, oh, it's not going to work out. Oh, I will be humiliated. My bosses aren't going to recognize this. My boss is going to say that, I don't think you deserve. You need to work more harder. And these things, are scaring you out. But I feel that the situation, the grand reality is very much different than what you are imagining in your head. So don't stop yourself now. If this is in regards to your side gig or personal business that you want to open, and you're wondering how things are going to align, where resources are going to come from, and if you're going to get the money or the results, I feel that take one baby step. You don't have to pull in a lot of money or make those huge investments. Start with a small fund, just a small fund, and try get the help of people that are in your house or around you, people that you trust. And you can start small and then scale it up. You don't have to invest fortunes or break a bank in order to, invest so much. That's the one thing that you will need to be very practical with your approach. So don't avoid things. Go ahead and do it. It's just a fear that's holding you back. The actual ground reality is very different than what you are actually visualizing, imagining, and fearing yourself of. So I feel the antidote to the energy is ask yourself what is holding you back right now, and do the exact thing to break that loop or break that cycle. And once you do it, once you take that step, things that you have been avoiding, things are going to move forward. Things are going to really move in a positive direction. They're going to move fast. The next card you have, Virgo, is the Wind. And below that, it says activation. Further, it says, be present in your body. So basically, it's talking about breath work because, when it comes to wind, it's actually the breath that this energy is talking about, and when it comes to breath is definitely an activation switch. When we take deep breaths, and even breath work today has proven to have a lot of medical benefits. It has got a green light from a lot of researchers. It's known to alter brain activity. So, it's like the wind that travels through mind-body is the activation switch out here. And I feel that this energy is like, when it comes to wind, it's the thoughts, it's the breath work. When it moves through us, when it moves down from the mind, through the entire nasal passage into our bones, into our body, that's when the action happens. So, for example, when you're a little bit anxious about new jobs, new projects, interviews, and any kind of situations that put you in an anxious state, when you practice this breath work, it kind of diffuses the tension. So that's one way of using this wind energy, the wind activation switch. I feel that wind also refers to the air element, which is about the thoughts, when we're unnecessarily thinking too much, over-analyzing. Instead, in those moments when we step out, walk about in the nature, you know, or do anything, any physical activity, that's when that anxiety, that the loop of anxiety breaks and it diffuses the tension. So basically this activation switch, which is wind, it can be, useful in a number of ways. 2 ways to diffuse the tension. Also, this can also be about, going for regular walks or hitting the gym, where a lot of breath work is required. When you hit the gym, you walk on treadmills, there's a lot of fast breathing, which actually opens up the lungs and removes the stuckness, whether it's body feeling lethargic. When you go to the gym, you physically work out, that stuckness is gone. Or whether you're overthinking things and then you go outside, you work out, the overthinking is gone. So anything that has been frozen starts to move, whether it's a thought, an idea. If you've been thinking about starting something, when you go outside, when you actually move, those ideas start to turn into actual manifestation. So your ideas get manifested when you're actually putting those ideas to the test, to work. Similarly, like when we're you want to buy something, for example, you want to buy a house, you research it online. So you can watch as many pictures as possible, but you're not going to be able to feel it, like what exactly it feels like unless you step into that house. So even though a picture may not catch your attention, but when you walk into a property, when you walk into a house, the entire package that comes with the house, the neighborhood, the vibe, the ambience and, the neighborhood and all things, that are around that property make a huge difference. So just by looking at a house in pictures, does not cut a deal. You actually have to walk to the property, feel the whole thing, how it feels like during the day, at night. How are the people over there? Are there any parts? Are there any trails and things like that? So when a house comes with an entire package, which you get to feel only when you move away from the screen or from your couch, that's when you start to manifest your dream house. So the breath work is actually a switch, a kind of an activation switch. When you use it, it can not only improve your health, but it also, when you use it in the right way, like when you walk around in the outdoor spaces, when you exercise, when you jog, when you run, or when you breathe fresh air, the momentum has shifted, the mood has shifted, new ideas come, we disconnect from older stuck energies and get new motivation, because physical activity actually puts the ball in motion, and you will experience kind of mood changes, mood uplifts, and, you kind of get inspired to do so many things because the body is now energized. So I do feel that when you do the breath work, and I feel this is recommended for you, Virgos, if things are stalled right now, invest into breath work and things will start to show positive momentum. And the last card you have for today, Virgo, is Mind Mastery. And it's a message from angels, and it says, your knowledge is growing. Expand your mind. Wisdom Studies Higher Education 5757. This is a very powerful number because it doubles down on number 5 and it doubles down on number 7. 7 is a very spiritual number. It's a number of higher self, higher learning, higher growth, intellect, connection to the divine. And then there is a 5, which is a number of change. So there is there is growth, there is change, there is growth. So that's definitely happening. So I feel that when you learn, when you apply your mind, whether you're taking a course, whether, and it could be anything, your knowledge is growing. So whatever you're learning, researching, could be through courses, could be through certifications or schools and universities, your mind is growing. Your intellect is growing, you're becoming wiser, you're learning so much. You could be studying, you could be into a higher education. So a lot of learning, wisdom, understanding is actually lifting you right now. So I feel that whatever you're learning, it's time to apply that, whether it's through teaching or in your own personal life or creating something out of it. So you have learned, now it's time to I feel that you've already mastered it or mastering it. It could be anything here, field study, studies, research, whatever that is it's reaching its highest potential. It's picking up momentum now. And I feel that, when you apply that knowledge, when you apply that wisdom, it's something that you will create which will stand the test of time. It's something that is powerful. Look at the third eye out here. It's open, and the wings out here are for you to take flight, because the knowledge out here is ready to go out into the world. So it's a activation moment, and something is activated here. Higher learning, applying knowledge, and growth through that. Yes, there is change. Yes, there is moving outside your comfort zone, but it's for your higher good. So Virgo, those were your messages, and hope they resonated with you. Now moving on to the sign of Capricorn. So the first card you have for today, Capricorn, is the Page of Pentacles, but it's in the reverse for you. Now, Pentacles is earth energy, and you are the earth element. Pages are young energy. They are learners. So for some of you, in the upright, Page of Pentacles will be somebody that is, researching or upskilling, getting new certifications or taking on courses, whether online, offline universities, whatever that is, but kind of studying and upscaling. Now here in the reverse, it means that something has gone topsy-turvy, which means that whatever you are learning, maybe that has come to a standstill, or it got complicated, or something got stuck somewhere, and with the Page of Pentacles, it's like, the learning is full steam forward, but here it's like things and plans have been stalled or a pause. Now for you, Capricorn, you are you're the hard worker of the zodiac. Every plan that you put your mind, heart, and energy to will eventually get there, So I feel that this is not something that is like, shelved. It's not a shelved energy. This is like a strategic pause. I feel that there is something, either the plan or the idea, you're kind of twisting and turning and shifting things around so that the foundation or the groundwork, maybe something got left out in that, some research or some piece got missing. And you're like, if I'm going to put my heart and mind into something, it's got to be like 110%. I will give it my all, and I will sorry for that noise. So basically, I feel that the Capricorn energy, the archetypal energy, is about doing things right, not doing things fast, but doing things at a steady pace that, gives positive outcomes so that things don't fail at the last step or at the last minute, So for those of you that are in projects, you want to do the plumbing right so that things don't break down later on. So it could be that you're working on projects and some bigger issue came up and you're like, you know what, we've got to stop the project. We've got to research on this issue, find a solid plan or solution to work this, to remove and eliminate this problem before we move forward. Or now this kind of energy could work out in different areas. For some of you, it's going to be in your personal life. For some of you, it's going to be in your professional life or in side gigs or something that you have been trying to work, whether it's maybe you're trying to upskill yourself, take a certification, of course, and maybe you were not able to find times, or maybe you are working on multiple things and you were not able to get this completed. So now, so I do feel that, something that got paused for the right reason. You will visit that, you will revisit it, you would plan again, you will do it with newer perspectives, newer eyes. Maybe it was some permission or funding finances that were causing the delay or the hold up. But whatever was the reason of the pause, I feel you're working through that and now you're kind of getting back to it, or you will get back to it in the near future. So it's a time where you are going to now maybe it's like the phase 1 and you will be starting on the phase 2 with those breaks, and it happens all the time. Especially with the Saturn energy in Tay now. Things need to be done methodically at a good pace with knowledge, applying it in the right way, making the right moves and all of that. So it's not about just trying to get to the finish line by hook or by crook, but it's like, following the right practice, the right methodology, and then arriving with solid products, solid finished products, and solid outcomes. The next card you have, Capricorn, is Island. Further, it says solitude. So I feel that when it comes to solitude, definitely there's an energy of, you taking some time out for yourself, which is a good thing. I mean, periodical breaks, if we schedule that into our routine, like, every few months or every few weeks, we just take some time out for ourselves, go to a retreat or staycation where, we just get to spend time with ourselves, maybe with family, spend time in meditation or just quiet out the noise, so that you get that time for self-care, for rejuvenating, for recharging your batteries. But, when it comes to island, if you look at the picture, definitely there is this, island which is surrounded by water. And it's a still water. It's not a, it's not a wavy, it doesn't have waves. It's a still water energy. And then there is a beautiful lavender, tree that is flowering right in the middle of the island. And there's only one tree. And there is nobody else on the island that's actually tending to it. So this energy has a lot of violet, indigo, purple colors, which is like of the, the higher chakra. So I do feel that there is beauty in solitude, but only if it is, only if it is timed correctly, and it is timed, which means that you take like 3-4 days or a week or 10 days. And then you return back to the normal world where and your community, where you're connecting back with friends, family, neighbors, and community. So I do feel that some of you, Capricorn, you are definitely taking a moment, a step back from your busy life, because Capricorn life is about the mountain goat, always working next goal, chasing the next goal after another. But here, when you take this deliberate time for yourself, whether in meditation or just doing nothing, or just lying by the beach, relaxing, listening to some calm music, or even better, just closing your eyes and sipping on some drinks that you like and just enjoying the vibe and soaking the energy in. So that's the kind of energy, which is recommended, because it gives you that, that rest. Your mind is fresh. You come back with fresher perspective, fresher eyes, so I do feel that for some of you, you might be spending time away by yourself, maybe digital detoxing. And, when you get time to sit with your thoughts, with yourself, it kind of clears your headspace, gives you more clarity, helps you to make decisions, better decisions. For some of you, this could be that you have a packed schedule and you're trying to phase that out. You're trying to just take, all the commitments off of your calendar, your busy calendar for some time, so that you're able to, come out of that commitment fatigue, or wherever you had your commitments, when you don't have to do that, like get dressed, go from one to the other. It really gives you that moment to recharge. Now, some of you might be going over to islands or places where, where it's quiet, by the mountains or by the beaches, or, buying those cabins by the beaches and camping out and things like that for some of you. Some of you could be buying, homes or renting homes or Airbnbs that are in secluded places so that you get a moment to yourself, maybe even with nature. So I would say it's a good energy as long as you put a cap on it. It's like and we're constantly special, especially in today's times where, we want to cram so much in a day as much as possible. But when we make time to be, by ourselves, to be alone, away from social gatherings, from external noise, our mind becomes more calmer. Our nervous systems become more calmer, and we become more relaxed, more cool, calm, collected, more clear, more wiser, I would say, more wiser, more, decided, what do you call, wiser and decisive, as if there is a decision to be made. Now, the other way that I look at it is that this flowering tree, it's just on its own. It's capable of taking care of its own to the extent that it's flowering beautifully. So of course it has its roots under this rock and all of that, but it's self-sustaining mode right now. So I do feel that for some of you, this can also be, you're spending time by yourself, a little bit like a hermit mode, because you're kind of upskilling. You try to learn, research, grow, study, whatever that is. Maybe you're studying for some certifications, maybe you're upskilling, maybe you're gathering resources, or, whatever this is you're doing. I feel that you're trying to be self-sufficient and not dependent on other people or other team members and things like that, So you're kind of building yourself, with stronger foundations and skills that you're able to be self-sufficient. Or this could be your company, your environment. It could be your family. It could be your city even, to that grand scale where the city or the country, they are trying to be self-sufficient and less borrow or use external resources. Instead, create resources, upscale, grow the produce, grow things, whatever is needed with the local economy. So for some of you, it could be your environment as well. And the last card for Capricorn you have is an angel number 1010. So the number 10, it has 10 and it has zeros and it has ones. So basically 10 culminates into, it's new beginnings. It's 10 is also like, it says you're in process, time for a change in life, right track, new direction, messages, soul evolution. So definitely there, if you see the picture, there is beautiful wings that are just fully spread out, a lot of beautiful roses, blue-colored wings. There is a pendant, a beautiful pendant. I don't know what this is. It's a fly or something like that, and a pendant that this feminine energy is, wearing around her neck. So I do feel that, it's a butterfly at her pendant. It's a butterfly. So this butterfly, I feel that there is definitely an energy of changes, transformation, of something coming about, something new which is unfolding here for you, Capricorn. And I feel that because these wings are so beautiful, they're open, they're and they're expansive, they're welcoming. I do feel that you are ready to fly. This is in process, time for a change in life, right track. So definitely you are on the right track if that's the question you had in mind, which means that you're fully aligned with your life's purpose and goals, and things are slowly unfolding as to where you're supposed to go, where you're supposed to be, what you're supposed to become. So things are unfolding for you. And like I said, 10, that's a superpower number, of new beginnings. So I just feel that you are on the right track here, Capricorn. You just need to trust the changes. You need to trust in the universe, trust the process, that things are unfolding in divine timing and for the highest good. Because the angel feathers are open, which means that there is growth, there is upliftment. The wings are there to fly, not to drag you down. It's like it's your turn to fly now. So I do feel that there is a lot of, there's a lot of change which is happening and new directions for some of you. And I feel that this energy is encouraging you to be confident, have faith, trust the process. You might not know everything at this point in time. You might not know your destination, how far it is, and things like that. But the underlying message is to trust yourself, trust what you're doing, and keep doing. Even though, things might not be fully showing, they are fully developed, but, in time, things will come together. So, Capricorn, those were your messages and hope they resonated with you. So, thank you guys for joining. Please subscribe and hit the like if you enjoyed the content, and I will see you in the next one. Take care, guys. Bye for now.